Hello, everyone. We are so excited when people reach out to us with a question. Very often we get the same questions over and over again. Therefore, we are going to answer some of them today. I am Raluca Hania. I am an attorney with an office in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I provide immigration services for my clients around the world, as well as estate planning and family law services for Georgia residents. Nina Clear, my marketing and office manager, is here with me. We really appreciate all your shares, likes, and comments as they help others to see our videos.
Okay, the number one question that we get, and we thought we answered this, but we still get it, is how long is this going to take? So, what is your answer?
Yes, that is the number one question. And because we are live, things happen. So Nina had to leave the office for a second. So the question is, how long is going to take? And that is truly the number one question that we get. And it is frustrating for us and for our clients and those who ask the questions, because the only answer that we can give is it takes as long as it takes. And the reason for that answer is because we can tell you how long it will take us to answer or to file. And we can tell you that statutorily, that means by the law, USCIS is supposed to answer within 90 days. But we can also tell you that this is very rare. We will put a link below our video about how to check on processing times and read the visa bulletin in the comments. And another question that we get is there anything that we can do to speed up the process? And the answer is somehow. Ensure that you answer all the questions fully and honestly. You have to include any supporting evidence with your application, and you have to keep USCIS informed of your address if it changes, which you are required to do within 10 days. So we're going to resume with Nina asking the questions.
So sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. Let's see. So, hiring an attorney won't speed it up?
Yes. So as I said, it can. Just because an attorney has usually done this many times, and they can do it much faster than the average person. Plus, they will know what might be a concern or what you must include, and they may make a legal argument with anything submitted. All of that can mean that you won't get an RFE, hopefully, a request for evidence, which can make your case be processed more quickly. And another question, I'm going to let Nina put the next question, that is one that we get very often.
Okay, sorry. Another question we have often is, now I have my green card. When can my family get here? Can I sponsor them?
True. When you get your green card, you can sponsor your spouse and unmarried children.
So not your parents?
No.
But you can sponsor your parents when you become a citizen, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And along with that question, many people say, I sponsored my parents. Can my adult sibling, who's now 27, even though they were 12 when I applied,
yes,
are, so they're over 18, will they be able to immigrate with my parents? So can they?
Not usually. This is one thing that is very frustrating. often it may be that you filed for your parents when your siblings were younger and unmarried. But since the process can take a long time, if they have turned 21 and or gotten married, they cannot come with their parents. Of course, you as a citizen may sponsor your siblings, but they fall then into the F4 category, and this is on the visa bulletin. And it can take 15 plus years for their priority number to come up, depending on which country they're coming from.
And we've been asked this several times by both the applicants and their parents, calling for their children, is if they have to meet their fiance before they apply for the K-1 visa.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess because so many now people are meeting online, right? Like around the world, you can meet people more easily than you could in the past.
Yes.
And maybe they talk on Snapchat or WhatsApp or whatever, the connect du jour of the day is, or they talk on the phone or they text,
sure.
But they've actually never met physically.
But there is a requirement for the fiancé visa that they must have met physically or in person. So one tip I will offer is to make sure in the excitement of meeting for the first time or any time after that you don't forget to take pictures together.
And why is that?
Well, sometimes people are so caught up in finally meeting, talking and enjoying being with each other, then they forget to take pictures. It is very helpful to have pictures together as a couple so that you can prove that you have a relationship.
Okay. And often we have almost every day people who ask if they need advance parole to travel when they are a green card holder.
The answer is it depends. If they have not received their conditional green card, so it's the first time when they apply for the green card, or their conditional green card has expired and they haven't applied to remove the conditions, they should only travel with advance parole. This is my advice. However, as we remind everyone all the time, whenever you enter the U.S. as a visa or green card holder, both permanent or conditional, the customs agents make the final decision each time as to if you can enter the U.S. or not. So they can always refuse to allow you to enter for different reasons.
So if they have a green card, do they need advance parole to travel?
If they have a valid green card, they can travel with their green card and with their passport from the country that they are nationals of.
Okay, so and then that brings up another question people often ask with the visa. If you have a visitor visa, how long do you need to go back to your country before you can come back to the U.S.?
Well, there is not a specific time. However, keep in mind that each entry requires permission. CBP agent, which is Customs and Border Protection Agency, they very much frown on people working in the U.S. without legal permission. So if you leave for a short time and come back, they may be suspicious and not allow you entry. They can revoke your tourist visa and ban you from re-entering for a set period of time. You may have to show how you will afford to live here and that you have a bona fide residence in your country that you do not intend to abandon.
Okay, and we are often asked if someone is a green card holder, how long they can live outside the United States.
Well, you should not leave outside the United States. If you're a green card holder, you have told USCIS that you want to become a U.S. citizen. So you must have a residence in the U.S. and anytime you leave, you are expected to be planning on returning.
So you have to keep a residence here?
Yes, and you must always intend to come back when you leave.
So say you have a vacation home outside the U.S. because you have your residence here, right? Is there a limit on the time you can stay there?
Yes, you can stay outside the U.S. without losing your green card for up to 6 months. If you stay longer than 6 months, but less than a year, you may face additional questioning. If you stay longer than a year, by law, it's considered that it's presumed that you abandon your green card, so you will need a reentry permit.
So do you apply for the reentry permit when you're outside the U.S., say at your vacation home?
No, you must apply for that while you are here in the U.S. before you leave.
And what happens if you haven't gotten a reentry permit and you still stayed outside the United States for over a year?
In most circumstances, you will be considered to have abandoned your green card, and you will need to start a process to regain your green card again.
And what about if you didn't intend to stay outside the U.S., but you had an emergency and that kept you from returning?
Well, in very limited circumstances, you can apply for a reentry permit. Most of the time, because you have your green card, and if you have proof with you that you had an emergency, medical conditions usually, and you may be able to reentry by providing that proof to the CBP agents. So these are all the questions we are going to cover today. Thank you everyone who supports us with all your likes and shares and comments. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us, as we are always here to help. See you. Have a good weekend.